Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be swatching all of my blushes. This is not only blushes, but it's highlighters and bronzer as well. I don't have too large of a collection, it all fits in this little drawer, but I think it's a very moderate amount, especially considering the fact that I want to triple this, but I'm limiting myself to this many cheek products. If you want to see some swatches and just have a good old time, then please keep watching. So this is the Fenty Cream Blush. It's a duo, and this is in Peony Droppa and Malibu's. She always has such creative names. But this is a cream blush. It's a duo. This came out with a holiday collection, I believe. I'm not quite sure, but I absolutely love this. I think the colors are amazing, and I love that they're really different. I feel like sometimes in duos, it's common, you know, in Patrick Ta's duos, to put a cream and a powder together and have them be virtually identical in color. I like that these are different. It allows you to customize it. The colors themselves are really beautiful. I don't always feel the need to mix them together. I will say I use this one more frequently because I think it flatters my skin tone more, but I really love this one as well. And I've worn this one alone too. It's definitely a more youthful, fresh look. I would say that this definitely has a dewy finish. It's a little sheer in nature and definitely something that leaves a glow on the skin. So I'll go ahead and swatch this now. Just a beautiful shade, and these are the kind of blush that they're hard to the touch, but the second you warm them up with your fingers they will melt. You can kind of see my fingerprints and marks in here. In addition, the packaging is beautiful. You can see my camera. It's this gorgeous pink mirrored surface, and the hexagonal shape is just exquisite. I love Fenty's packaging, and I'm gonna be honest, packaging is a huge part of why I bought this, but I did really love the colors and the formula as well. So I'll swatch them on my arm. Wow, beautiful. Those are the post-swatch fingers. Next on the docket we have Charlotte Tilbury's Glogasm Beauty Light Wand. This is in the shade Pinkgasm. I've got to give it to Charlotte Tilbury for the names of her products. So this has a unique delivery system. You twist it to unlock it and you squeeze up a little product here. It's a little tricky, but you can see how it kind of just expanded. And the cream comes out like that, so absolutely beautiful. And you always have to be careful to twist this so that it doesn't stay unlocked, because my sister accidentally did that and half of the blush was gone. This is a liquid blush, and although I don't really like this delivery system, I do think it has its benefits. It's very quick to apply and super easy to blend out. One thing that Charlotte Tilbury is pretty known for is that her formulas are very beginner friendly. It's kind of like a brain dead formula. You can literally apply this asleep and it will look good. Very little blending is required. It's also the type of product that doesn't dry down really fast, so you have a lot of playtime, and it's just really easy to use. I think that's one of the biggest things that draws people to Charlotte Tilbury is the ease of use of the product. Some people actually love this packaging. I can see why. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. I think it is really pretty. It has kind of that vintage, almost like Art Deco type of look to it. This is also a very unique color. I don't think I've ever seen another blush in this color. There are supposed dupes out there, but I haven't tested any for myself, so I can't be sure. But I really love this, and I'm so happy I have this. I really wanted this for a long time and was considering trying out some of the dupes, but what I've learned with dupe culture is that most of the time the dupe is not actually a dupe, and it makes me want the original even more. And then I end up returning the dupe and just buying the original. So at this point, that's happened to me about 3 or 4 times. Now I know that I'm the type of person that likes the original product, and I actually save more buying that way, and I waste less because I don't return something. Next, for cream blush, we have my favorite one out of all of these blushes here. This is the REM Beauty blush, and this is in the color Opening Night. This is Ariana Grande's makeup line. I really love this space-themed packaging. The little clear window at the top is adorable. This comes actually domed. Just from that, you can tell how much I've used this. I am super loyal to this product. This is one of those formulas that I know it's gonna look good no matter what I do. So inevitably I reach for this. And the color is also just really flattering on me. The way I like to apply this is warm some up with the tip of my finger. Really pigmented, beautiful, authentic cream formula. I mean, just a beautiful color. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is really easy to sheer out as well. There's really not too much to say about this other than I absolutely love it, and I do want to pick up other shades. It's just that I have so much blush that I don't really feel like it's necessary, but the heart wants what it wants, so I may end up picking up another shade. Maybe I'll pick up another one once I get down to this crevice here. There's also a lot of product in here. I don't want to roll it up all the way. It's an absolutely beautiful blush. From the fuss-free packaging to the formula to the price, I think REM Beauty is very reasonably priced. It's kind of in that range of about face for me, where it almost teeters high-end and expensive drugstore makeup, kind of where NYX is these days in terms of price. This is just a stunning formula. There's nothing that I could think of that would improve this. It's absolute perfection in my eyes. Last up for cream blush. This is a relatively new one to my collection. I'll also tell you that these two I got around the same time, and I have used this one more than I've used this one. And I find that it's just because this color is a little more comfortable for me. It's not that this is an unflattering color on me, it's just that I use colors like this more. I'm a very big berry blush fan. For example, the REM Beauty blush, the darker one of the Fenty blushes is the one I use more. I also really love the packaging of this one. I mean, it has like a matte, soft touch. It really looks like a paint tube, which is the juiciest thing. Again, with the hexagonal shape, I just love it. And I like how the color on the lid matches the color of the blush. They recently reformulated these, but I have never tried the old formula. I only tried Glossier once they got into Sephora. So I can't speak to the old formula, but all I know is this is fantastic. Only thing is, it's a little difficult to get out the exact amount that you want. It can be a little liquidy, and so a lot ends up coming out. I would just be careful when you're squeezing it out. But how beautiful is that color? Like, come on. And it has this beautiful brown note in it. It's like a little bit brown. You can kind of see in comparison to the REM blush that although these are pretty much the same depth-wise, this one has so much more brown in it. This color is also really flattering on olive skin tones. I think it's because of the brown that's in there. It just looks so at home on my skin. It almost looks like the color that I would blush naturally. And again, I think it's because of that brown. Absolutely love this. It's a very watercolory type of formula. It's very liquidy and thin, and it also dries a little fast. I think an experienced blush user would enjoy these, but it's definitely not beginner friendly in the way that the Charlotte Tilbury one is, for example. You got to work quickly with this one, and I actually do one cheek at a time when I'm using this because that's just how quickly it dries. It's by Essence. It's called The Blush, and this is the color Befitting. This is actually a well-known alternative to Clinique's Black Honey Pop blush. It's not a dupe because this is a little bit lighter, I would say. But in terms of the actual color, they're very similar. Ever since I got this blush, I have used it every single time I've done my makeup without fail. And I heard about this through Emily Noel, and she duped a Too Faced blush in a video with this, and I just fell in love with this. I didn't even bother for the Too Faced one because I think this is under $5, and the packaging is like substantial. It's cute. I just did not see a need to get the Too Faced one over this. Very smooth formula, beautiful dusty mauve, but it has enough color to where it doesn't look so dusty and gray. And I'll swatch this one right here. It's a powder, so it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but I'll really try to beef up the swatch here. This is a beautiful formula. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I love it. And I think if you're looking for an inexpensive powder blush, you cannot go wrong with this, especially this shade. I actually have another powder blush. This one I haven't used in a minute. It's by Mercier and it's called Sangria. This is actually one of the blushes I got after a huge declutter I did. And the reason it's scraped out is because I actually mixed it with MAC strobe cream to try to make a cream blush. And it worked. But I mean, that just shows you how obsessed I am with cream blush, that I wanted to turn this formula into a cream. This is a beautiful formula. I mean, this is clearly a high-end blush. It's very smooth and like creamy feeling almost. Like it has this like slip to it that the Essence one didn't have. The Essence one is definitely a bit more powdery. This definitely feels a little bit more creamy. Like there's more emollients to it. This is a super bright color as well. I mean, the pigment is unreal. And I'll add a little bit more just for swatch purposes. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, these two look very similar in tone, which is funny. I never would have thought that they looked similar in the pan at all. I really don't use this blush anymore. I just find it's a little too pigmented. I have to shear this out a lot, and if I'm in a rush, I don't want to have to think about shearing out a product. I just want to slap it on and go. It's not a bad formula at all. It's just very pigmented. If you want a pigmented blush that'll show up, I mean, this is it. I just realized that I have this little teeny tiny NARS Orgasm blush. That was a Sephora Point Perk, and I think I've used this like twice. It's a beautiful, beautiful blush. The only reason I don't pull this out, I think, as much is because it's in such a teeny tiny packaging. Like, it's literally smaller than the mini bronzer. So, I mean, it's tiny, but this blush is famous and it's iconic. It's a light peachy pink with tons of gold shimmer. Okay, I only have one bronzer, so I'm just gonna swatch that for you and then we can move on to the highlighters. But I absolutely love this bronzer. You can see the dip I have made in this. This is the NARS bronzer in Laguna. This was a 2019 birthday gift at Sephora, and you can get birthday gifts no matter what tier you are. You just have to be signed up. So I'd really recommend doing that. It's one area I think that Sephora is very generous in. Like, this is a generous size for a birthday gift. And I've literally used this almost every time I do my eyeshadow to set up my crease or, you know, as a regular bronzer, and it's kicking. Like, she is going strong. So this is what that looks like. This is what the bronzer looks like. I love the way this looks on me, and I think it's because it's very similar to my skin tone, but it just has that right amount of depth. It just has the right amount of depth to make it look like a bronzer, but it's not orange. It has a beautiful satin finish with just some gold shimmer in it to reflect back light, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is like my favorite bronzer. I cannot think of a better bronzer. A bronzer that's very similar to this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Deep Bronzer. I used to have that before I got this one, and I believe I hit pan on that actually. And then once I got this as my birthday gift, I just exclusively started using this, but I loved that, and I think the reason I love this so much is because it's a very similar color. It's absolutely beautiful. Like, this is the perfect bronzer shade for me. Guys, I literally have issues. I forgot to mention this beautiful blush. It is the Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon Blush. It kind of has hard pan on it because of how much I've used it, but this color is phenomenal. Look at that beautiful peachy color. Like, are you kidding me? I love this shade. Daisy Cash put me onto this, and it has this slight gold shimmer in it, but it's so fine that it almost looks like frost. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The formula is so soft. It's literally around $10 at the drugstore. This is like my neutral blush. If I don't want to wear something pink or red or coral, if I want something neutral that's like close to my skin tone and just offers that like slight flush of something, this is it. When you don't want your blush to be the center of attention, like if you're doing a smoky eye, nude lip, and you need a blush that will match the nude lip, this is the one I use. Okay, 3 products left. These two are actually kind of in the same vein. They're both from Essence. So they're just basically darker and lighter versions of each other. Think of it like MAC Gold Deposit and MAC Soft and Gentle. Definitely not saying that they're dupes, but I think they're comparable. And as you can see, the packaging is kind of rickety because these are super old. I actually used to have this one, and then I decluttered it for some terrible reason, and then I rebought it because I realized that I was a fool to let go of this. So I will swatch these for you. They are this beautiful baked dome formula. This light one could even be a finishing powder, but the way I use this is as a highlight. It's very natural, and it almost kind of just looks like a gloss. Like it has sort of something like wet look about it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but in person it definitely almost looks like there's a little bit of like dewiness coming from this. Swatch the bronze one here. Like, wow. Are you seeing that? Just beautiful. Or what I'll do is, because this can be a little icy on me, see how it kind of has a pink cast? So for my skin tone, if I mix these two, it creates the most beautiful, natural, lit from within type of highlight. And I don't mind having two and having to combine them because they're literally like $3 each. So I don't feel like it's too much of a struggle or hassle to do that. The Flower Beauty Opal Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. And this is a supposed dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter wand. And you can see the packaging is virtually identical. The only thing about this product for me is that it dries really fast, like insanely fast, to the point that it's almost difficult to use. I'll swatch this right here for you. Now that doesn't mean it's not a beautiful product. Like, wow. Super metallic and a perfect champagne-y pink color. It just dries so fast. Can you kind of see how it's almost getting patchy because of how fast it's drying? Like, I just don't understand why the formula does that. And that's how it ends up looking on my cheek. So I really don't reach for this. And honestly, if I had to declutter one product from my cheek product collection, it would be this, just because it's so finicky to use. Like, it looks good when you do this, right? But then the second that you blend it out, it's like, why is it getting patchy? Even right there, it doesn't look smooth. No matter how much product you put, it's like coagulating. It does not look normal. And Flower Beauty is not a cheap drugstore brand. Like, they kind of teeter that line between high-end and expensive drugstore. So this is just unacceptable in my opinion. Okay, so let's go through the list. We have Fenty Malibu's, Fenty Peony Droppa, Charlotte Tilbury Pinkgasm, REM Opening Night, Glossier Storm, Essence Befitting, Laura Mercier Sangria, NARS Orgasm, Essence Pure Nude Highlighter, Burt's Bees Toasted Cinnamon Blush, NARS Laguna Bronzer, Essence Pure Nude Sunlighter. This is just a random brush that I got with a Dior highlighter. It was like the nude skin luminizer, and I literally never use it, but I keep it just because it's juicy. I hope you enjoyed seeing all the swatches and hearing my thoughts about these products. I really love my cheek product collection, and I think I'm okay with where it is right now. These two, as I said earlier, these two are my newest acquisitions, so I definitely feel like I have a lot to play with, at least until the end of the year. I just realized that I forgot to rank all of these in order of my favorite to least favorite. And I really wanted to do that because I think it would add a lot of value to the video. and I decided that my bronzer and 2 highlighters are completely in a separate vein. I only have 1 bronzer, so I can't really rank it against other bronzers, and I use these 2 highlighters at the same time pretty much every time that I use them, so it's like I have 1 highlighter and I will be decluttering this. Actually, my heart is telling me to switch this up a little bit. This is the final ranking. Yep. Because I don't really use powder that much, so the powders naturally will be towards the bottom. It doesn't mean they're bad. This is just my ranking, and my ranking is in terms of usage. And I use this powder blush to top off these cream blushes because they're similar in color. They're kind of pinky. This is super neutral, so it has a totally separate use, as I touched on earlier in the video. These 2 are equally as unused for me. But I'm gonna leave it here. Yeah, I'm crazy indecisive, guys, if you couldn't tell. But this is it. I'm leaving the video off here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!